So, Jermaine Eluemunor is back in the news, guys. And the reason why? Because he's talking good about the Bengals now. So, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. But he was very vocal that he wanted to go to a team that he could win with against the Chiefs in a big situation. So, like a playoff game. And there was a lot of talk about, well, you know what? If you want to go to a team that could beat the Chiefs, you might want to go protect Joey B. Because he's the guy to do it. He hates the Chiefs, which automatically makes him a Bengal. Literally, by like blood association, if you hate the Chiefs, you're pretty much a Bengal. Nonetheless, though, after that whole situation went down, where he was very vocal about that, everything kind of quieted down. Right? Everything went a little bit down. No one talked about anything, and it is what it is. Until recently, where he was defending Joey B and the Cincinnati Bengals. And again, we're right around free agency here. This is what he had to say. People keep hating when honestly, Burrow and Mahomes are the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Also, he completely turned the franchise around. But I guess when you're nice AF, people forget about the bad times. Also, the whole system quarterback thing is stupid. Stop it. And again, it's a little bit of a, him defending Joey B. Because obviously he's just defending against the haters. But this just sparks more and more interest of why he should be a Cincinnati Bengal. Because, man. By the way, shout out to Matt King here for absolutely going off on Joey B here. I saw this video and I didn't even want to talk about it. But pretty much what this guy was going off about. I think he's a Ravens fan. No, he's a Browns fan. Oh, this is great. He's a Browns fan. He was saying how Joe Burrow is not good. Joe Burrow is not better than Lamar Jackson. Joe Burrow simply just has great quarterbacks, yet he can't win a Super Bowl, yet he can't do this as this. He's had one of the best defenses in the AFC North. Like, he's made this guy just... I saw his video and I was like, okay, man. Go back to the Wacky Shack. You're done, buddy. You're done. Nonetheless, though, to see this, right, and this, again, is strictly a video of bashing Joe Burrow. It's bashing Joe Burrow, saying he's not good, he's not, that great of a quarterback, he's overrated, he's not better than Lamar Jackson, just a whole bunch of crap. And then for him, Jermaine Eluemunor, to see this and go, oh, you are not going to bash my freaking quarterback. I'm just saying. He's defending. He's already protecting his future quarterback here. Now, listen, right? And I'll play a little bit of this just to hear the nonsense this kid says, but...
To separate himself into the upper echelon. What exactly has Joe Burrow done to separate himself into the upper echelon of quarterbacks? People complain all the time if you put Lamar or Herbert over him. Please, without using team success, because it's a team sport, give the arguments for Burrow being better. It's truly a ridiculous discussion at its core because Joe has quite literally done nothing to show he's better than guys in his same tier despite having a better supporting cast than almost all.
Joe Burrow is 5-2 in the playoffs. Been to a Super Bowl. Had a great playoff record. Wins. Except for the AFC North, very tough games. But he has shown nothing that he is better than Lamar Jackson or Justin Herbert. Oh, because he has great receivers. I forgot. That's what makes it the thing happen.
All of them. The guy has consistently had a better defense than every other starting quarterback in his class outside of Hurts, yet you'll have people acting like this man is rallying the 0-16 Lions. For example, a guy like Acho who said don't bring down Herbert's supporting cast to lift him up. How'd the Chargers look?
Okay, I'm sorry. This kid's giving me a headache because he looks like a serial killer that's just like... He has no emotion or theory on his face. I think he's reading off a script because he doesn't believe the half the chicken crap that he's saying himself. So he has to read off a script, and he looks like a serial killer. So I'm just like, mentally, I'm like watching him, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've seen a Dateline NBC on this kid.
look like without Herb and how the Bengals look like without Burrow. That's right, one put out one of the worst teams in NFL history and the other finished 4-2, almost making the playoffs in a stacked AFC while averaging 26 in those last 6 games. It's also...
Is he? Is he saying with Jake Browning we were successful, so therefore Joe Burrow's not good? You do realize with Jake Browning, we had the easiest schedule possible. We went into Vikings, who was a backup quarterback. The Colts, who had a backup quarterback. The I'm going off memory here of all the teams we played because it was a little while ago. The Browns with a backup quarterback. And that's actually no, that was the 4 wins. You don't think Joe could have won all those games with backup quarterbacks? You know what the difference is? Joe would have went 6-0 with those games. He also would have beat the Ravens, and he would have beat the Steelers. At least once, if not twice. Man, you pull stuff out of your butt.
It's so ironic how whenever a quarterback has injuries early in their career, they get labeled injury prone, like Lamar, Tua, or Kyler. But not with Joe, who seems to have this cloak of invisibility.
That's amazing, because I've heard so many people say that Joe was injury prone. That's so amazing, too. Also, those quarterbacks you listed, Kyler, out for the season. Lamar didn't finish half the season, but we don't know if he was injured or if he won a contract. So therefore, you're right, he's not injury prone, more selfish. The other years, he did go out for the season.
Whenever anything seems to go wrong with the Bengals. The last time we saw Joe in the playoffs, he threw 2 ill-advised picks, one of which being midway through the 4th with a chance to take the lead. Yet all people could talk about afterwards was how poor his offensive line play was. There's been
Because it was. First off, the offensive line play was awful in that game. Joe really overcame everything in that game. And second off, that interception you just showed, because you probably didn't realize mentally you just effed up with that context, that was pretty much a punt, first off, because it was 3rd down and he chucked it up. And also, the guy's open, if you watch the play, is just a bad play by the wide receiver to tip the ball up in the air. The interception happened because the wide receiver tipped the ball up in the air. The guy is open. He's throwing a good pass to a wide open guy. I don't know, you didn't really put that in context or mentally understand that part, but you're not really doing a good job of explaining anything right there. The fact that he should have won an AFC Championship game if it wasn't for his offensive line. What happened at the end of the game on the last drive for the Bengals? He beat Chris Jones, beat the right tackle, and Hakeem, and got to the quarterback.
This narrative of coddling quarterbacks and how some can do no wrong. And for some reason, despite being the golden child for this, Burrow's name has been left out of it. Let's ruffle some feathers even more. Going forward on their respective contracts, I'd rather have Pat, Josh, Lamar, Love, Herbert, AR, Stroud, Caleb, and Drake than Joe on 5 years, $275 million. These past 4 years, we have seen Joe get beat up, some of which is his fault for holding the ball too long, but nothing's going to change. Jamar in the near future is going to eat up the amount of cap space they paid himself, T. Higgins, and Mixon combined all by himself. And the situation's only going to get worse on the back end of Joe's contract. As the talent gets worse, I wouldn't be shocked if Taylor's play calling concerns reappear, and the Bengals enter this purgatory where they have all this money tied up and nothing to show for it. People are going to rant in the comments and say I'm hating, but to have the confidence you guys have in this man.
I think really what it comes down to is the fact that he thinks he looks like Joe a little bit with the hair. And I think he wants to be him, but he can't be him, so therefore he has to hate him. That's what I think. Because his points literally have zero value or zero legitimacy to them in any way possible. So let's just break down this nonsense. So first off, you had to have all those quarterbacks in Joe Burrow. Well, what's all those quarterbacks combined have that Joe has even better? A better playoff record than all those guys combined. So what matters when you win in the playoffs? What's the goal of every single year, of every single team? To get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. What's one thing Joe did that all those quarterbacks couldn't do? Win a Super Bowl. Not win yet. Get to a Super Bowl. What's all those things combined do those players have that Joe has? A better playoff record, all those guys combined. I do agree that eventually, you have to spend money on great players, and it's going to eat up a lot of money. And I do agree that we're paying quarterbacks a lot of money. But that's just how football works nowadays, buddy. If you don't like that, stop watching football. If you can't stand the fact that quarterbacks are making $200+ million, I'm sorry, you complaining and looking like a knockoff Joe Burrow is not going to change anything, okay? You got to just sit there and realize that that's just how football is nowadays. If you want all those other quarterbacks who can't win the big game, who can't get to the playoffs, who can't win a Super Bowl, then guess what, buddy? You're just going to be stuck there forever. This is why I do agree with Jermaine Eluemunor here when he says that at the end of the day, it's really just Joe Burrow and, actually, Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, but he doesn't even say, no, he does say right here, Burrow and Mahomes. Those are literally the best of the best. Every other quarterback you listed, oh, well, Joe holds the ball too long. Yeah, he's a playmaker. He likes to get the ball to a guy who's open. He likes to make a play. He likes to extend the play. Big Ben did the same exact thing that Joe Burrow does. Like, this is just nonsense. This is stupidity. This is just you hating on him just to hate on him. And look at that. Baltimore degenerate sports better. And, of course, he has a little plug to sports betting. He's a Ravens fan. He just wants to talk trash to talk trash. That's all this is. And you know what? In all honesty, I don't even take offense to this. So let's look into this crap. But I love the fact that Jermaine Eluemunor is actually defending Joe here. Because, hey, listen, Jermaine, you're going to have to take a team-friendly deal to come over here to Cincinnati. That's step one right there, buddy. That's step one. See you guys next one. Peace.